Hello, all. Welcome to the session. This session is all about the syllabus that goes with reading comprehension skill and vocabulary. The other day, I did one video related to syllabus that goes with English grammar. As you all know, when it comes to English, we have three dimensions: grammar, reading comprehension, and vocabulary. I have already done the video related to grammar. Now, today in this video, I'm going to talk about the syllabus that goes with reading comprehension skill and vocabulary. These two are very important from the exam point of view, and these two are inseparable. That is the reason why I have brought both in one particular session. I'm going to talk about these two. And I'm going to talk about the syllabus that goes with reading comprehension skill. What are the areas to be tested? How they test? How to master? Same thing goes with vocabulary. Now let us start with a reading comprehension skill. At the outset, if I say syllabus, you see here reading comprehension skill, which is very important, and you see syllabus. A lot of students may wonder, syllabus related to reading comprehension skill. Never heard of that, never seen anything like that. But do remember, it is not mentioned and no one talks about it. But if you analyze the previous year's papers, you understand. In fact, there is syllabus that goes with reading comprehension skill. What do I mean by that? When I say there is syllabus that goes with reading comprehension skill, I mean there are certain areas. Related to those areas, there are certain topics. And usually, when it comes to passage, close test, parajumble, and scrambled sentences, they usually give the contexts related to these areas. That way, there is syllabus that goes with reading comprehension skill and vocabulary. They go hand in hand. And based on these areas, I have created one acronym. What is that? SLEEPS. Now, what is the difference between an abbreviation and an acronym? When you say all the letters, you take the first two letters from different words, you pronounce every letter, then it is called abbreviation. For example, British Broadcasting Corporation. I've taken the first letter from British, again the first letter from broadcasting, and the first letter C from corporation. When I say British Broadcasting Corporation, BBC. That is an abbreviation. Now, I have just used the word acronym. What is an acronym? You take the first letters from different words and you form a word. You don't pronounce every letter, you form a word and you say as a word. For example, I have said sleeps like a word. Then it is called an acronym. And what do the letters stand for? The first one, it stands for science and technology topics. The second one stands for legal topics. The third one, the first E stands for education topics. And the second E stands for economy topics, which is very important. And P stands for polity topics. And the last S stands for socio-cultural topics. From these topics, they give the passages, close test, parajumbles, scrambled sentences, whether related to comprehension or vocabulary. Do remember, these are the areas they touch. And in the next video, I'm going to give about 50 topics, the topics in the limelight, important topics that go with each area. And those 50 topics, if you master, if you have some knowledge, in the exam, it becomes easy for you to master or answer many questions. Now, when it comes to the syllabus part is over, how is reading comprehension skill tested? Every area you have to ask the question, what is tested? How is it tested? What is tested? After that, how is it tested? When it comes to reading comprehension skill, we have four areas. First one is passage, very important. Second one is close test. Third one is parajumble. And the fourth one is scrambled sentences. I'm going to talk about each one, what is tested, how it is tested, and finally how to master. The first one is the most important. I always tell students you should focus on this to get selected, whether prelims or mains. This is the most important thing. In fact, mains nowadays they are giving 3 passages, 4 passages. Usually what happens, a lot of students they don't read the passage. There's a reason behind. They think If they read the passage also, they cannot answer the questions. So why to spend 8 minutes or 10 minutes on the passage? Let us spend time on the remaining objective type questions. In my opinion, that is a blunder. You have to make it a habit to read the passage when you take the mock tests, when you attend the editorial sessions, and you should make it a habit. Then what happens? In the exam, you will read the passage. When you read the passage, you can answer minimum 5 questions out of 10. 5 marks, they make all the difference. If not, you may get 7. If it is an easy passage, a familiar passage, then you can get 10 out of 10. Imagine, usually you get from other areas about 15. This is your score, and you don't read the passage. Let's say you have made it a habit to read the passage during the mock tests, editorial sessions, and you have spent time on previous year's papers, passages, then there's every possibility to get 7 from the passage. Now, what will be your score? 15 plus 7, you can get 22. That is pretty good, more than what one can think of. But if you don't touch the passage, not possible to get 20 plus, impossible. Now, coming to what is tested? Explicit information. Explicit means direct. Usually, you read a passage, then there's a question. In the question you have keywords, and based on the you take those keywords and you search in the passage, you navigate, you find those keywords in the passage. Usually the answer is over there. These questions based on explicit information, anyone can answer, not at all difficult. All that you have to do, take the keywords from the passage and see where they are. And today it is like providing the basic insight regarding reading comprehension skill and vocabulary. But in the next session, the next video, how to get 20 plus, each one I'm going to provide examples and explain what is explicit, what is implicit, how to answer. The second one is very difficult and very important too. In the past, they would ask questions, a lot of questions based on explicit information, but nowadays they're asking questions based on implicit information. In fact, at this juncture, I would like to talk about something very useful, very important. A lot of people say, you don't read the passage, read the questions, try to answer. That doesn't work out. You may ask why. There are 5 areas they test. Of these 5 areas, 3 areas you have to read the passage, only then you can answer. What are those 3 areas? One is implicit information. For that you have to read. What is the reason? Explicit, it is there in the passage. Then you take the keywords, you search, you find, you get the answer. Implicit means what? Implied, indirect. If you read the entire passage, only then you can answer questions based on implicit information. Based on the question you cannot answer, you have to read the passage. Next, the main theme of the passage. They ask the question like, what could be the appropriate title? To answer that question, you have to read the entire passage. Only then you can answer the question related to the main theme or central idea. Now, coming to the next one, this is also very difficult, very important. The writer's views. This is higher level. You have to go for analytical reading, only then you can answer these questions. When you read, and you have to read the passage. Without reading the passage, how can you answer the questions related to the writer's views? The writer, whether he's trying to criticize or persuade, whether the information is objective or subjective, whether it is authentic, not authentic, whether it is outdated or latest. All these, only if you read the passage, you get an idea. Based on that, you can answer. And the last one, vocabulary. Some you can answer, but some you have to read the passage. When you read the entire passage, you get an idea what it is about. You understand the context. You develop contextual awareness. Based on that, when you go to a particular question related to a particular word in bold, again you read that particular sentence, one sentence before, one sentence after, then I'm sure you can get the right word. Very useful that way. And I would like to reiterate, it is practically impossible to answer all the questions related to the passage without reading the passage. I would like to reiterate. What is the reason? To answer questions related to implicit information, you have to read the passage. To answer the question, what is the main title? Main theme of the passage, what could be the appropriate title, what is the central idea, you have to read the entire passage. And what are the writer's views, you have to read the entire passage. Only questions related to explicit information, you don't have to read the passage. You go to the question, take the keywords, you get the answer. But nowadays, these are the areas equally distributed, more or less. One question, imagine one question on explicit information, one on implicit, one on main theme, one on writer's views. Then, if you don't read the passage, you cannot answer this, you cannot answer this, you cannot answer this. And a few questions related to vocabulary also, without reading the entire passage, you cannot answer. At the most, you can answer two words, questions related to words, and obviously, you can answer question related to explicit information. That means out of 10, you can get only three. But I'm telling you, if you do properly from the passage, you can get all the 10. That is a bit ambitious. If not, 7 you can get any passage, I'm sure. If you go in the right direction, 1 month you read the passages meticulously, analytically, I'm sure you can answer 7 questions, and 7 a very good thing. Competitive edge you will have. Now, what is tested when it comes to close test? Close test is nothing but they take a passage, they delete 5 words, then they give the passage with 5 blanks. For each blank, they provide 5 words. You have to select the right word. And this test is very popular in the US and in the UK. Their mother tongue is English. How come it is so popular today also? There are two reasons. One reason, English language has got two tags. One, it is known as the most polite language. In fact, there is a concept called English gentleman. And English is also known as combinational language. There are lakhs of words and millions of combinations, and one has to learn the right combinations from a context. Only then you can remember. Even the native speakers, they have to know the right combinations, and usually those whose mother tongue is not English, they try to make their own combinations not acceptable. Now, when it comes to close test, what is tested? First one, lexical terms. Lexical terms means related words. Imagine the passage is about elections. Recently, you have come across elections in different states, and there's a particular editorial or a passage has been given related to elections. Then certain words you have to expect. Anytime anyone writes an article related to elections, you come across those words. They go with the topic. Those words are called lexical terms or related words. But the most important thing when it comes to close test, collocations, there's a technical term. What does it mean? Word combinations. Word combinations are very important when it comes to English language, and there are thousands and millions of combinations. How do you learn all those? From a context. And grammar. As I said in the first video, I said grammar is tested directly and indirectly. Directly, they ask questions, error location, phrase replacement. Indirectly, in the passage, fillers, close test, parajumble, everywhere, grammar knowledge plays a role. So even here, grammar matters a lot. But all these, I'm going to get sentences, examples. In the next video, I'm going to explain. The next one is again very important. A lot of students lack this. What is it? Contextual awareness. I say quite often, I use this expression. You have to have contextual awareness. When you read a particular passage, you should understand what it is about, and you should have that contextual awareness. Based on that, you can answer a lot of questions effortlessly. Then if you ask me, sir, how do we get that contextual awareness? You have to read a lot. There's no choice. The next one, based on reading comprehension skill, parajumble. A paragraph is taken, they shuffle the sentences, and you're given those shuffled sentences. You have to get the correct order. Now, what is tested when it comes to parajumble? Main idea. What is the main idea? Every paragraph has a main idea, and that is the first sentence. Then link words. When it comes to writing, there's one important word. It is known as coherence. Coherence means smooth and logical flow of sentences. If you list out the points, that is not writing. When you write, The sentences should flow smoothly and logically. How do the writers do that? They do that with the help of link words. So if you know the link words, then you can easily get the line of thought. And every paragraph usually has two pairs or three pairs related sentences. How can you identify the related sentences? With the help of pronouns, with the help of demonstrative adjectives, with the help of articles, with the help of contrasting words, with the help of conjunctions. You can easily find out the related sentences or the pairs of sentences. But a lot of students, they manage the first three. They get the first sentence. With the help of the link words, they get the related sentences. Finally, somewhere they fail when it comes to the correct order of all the five or six sentences. What is the reason? They miss this one: continuity of thought, the line of thought, the continuity of thought, the line of thought, or the broad framework. And a lot of students don't get it. What is the reason and how to get it? If you ask the question, how to get it, you have to read a lot, one thing, and you have to expose yourself to a variety of contexts. Only then you understand the line of thought or the broad framework or the continuity of thought. Then you can get the correct order. All these we'll discuss in the next video. Now, coming to the next one based on reading comprehension skill, scrambled sentences. Again, the question, what is tested? What is a scrambled sentence? If I take a particular sentence, let us say there is a sentence like, the book is on the table. This is the correct order. Where is the book? The book is on the table. But if I change the order of these words, I say is book the, again the table on, it doesn't make any sense. That we call a scrambled sentence. So what is tested when it comes to a scrambled sentence? You should know what the subject of the sentence is. You should know what the main verb of the sentence is. You should know the object. And these three are rather easy. But nowadays, in the past, scrambled sentence is very easy, but nowadays they're giving lengthy sentences. Then not easy. The typical pattern, sentence pattern in English language, subject, verb, object. If they give only three words, you can easily make out. But they give a phrase or a clause related to the subject, and they may give a phrase or a clause related to the object. Then not easy to get the correct order of this sentence. So here you should know something about phrases and clauses. That is also tested. Usually students think scrambled sentences are related to subject, verb, object. No, something more. The two areas which are very important when the sentence is a lengthy sentence, phrases and clauses. Now coming to the $1,000,000 question, how to master reading comprehension skill. You have to acquire the habit of reading every day. You have to read every day. Read the Hindu editorials, read the passages from the mock tests, read the passages from the previous year's papers, read the para-jumbles, read the close test, but read every day. After that, don't read casually. Usually what happens? When we read very casually. We try to understand what exactly the writer wants to convey. But exam point of view, that is not enough. You have to read analytically. What is this analytical reading? You got to read meticulously, focusing on the main ideas, sub ideas, what exactly the writer wants to convey, and what is important, what is not important, where the writer has tried to substantiate, where the writer has presented the main idea, and what are the examples he has given, what sort of statistical data he has provided, and how many times he has used a personal opinion, how many times he has used the facts and figures. When you, while reading, you think of all these things. That means you're reading analytically. And nowadays, this is very important. They're asking questions based on analytical reading, not casual reading. Read topics in the limelight, burning topics, burning issues. The topics in the limelight usually you get in the exam. Read sleeps topics. Again, there's so many topics. Don't try to read at random. Take the topics that go with sleeps. Imagine there's an article related to Indian economy. Read. There's an article related to science and technology, artificial intelligence. Read. Otherwise, don't read. And when you read, focus on key words. All the words in a passage, not important. Again, next session I'm going to talk about, we have two types of words, structural words, content words. While reading, those are not good at reading, they focus on all the words. But those are good at reading, they focus only on content words, words with meanings. Focus on main ideas. When you read, don't focus on the statistical data. You can answer. If the question is about the data, you can easily answer. You go to the passage. So don't focus on data, don't focus on examples, focus on main ideas, and focus on speed. This is very important. This I will elaborate later, but today I would like to talk about the average speed of reading. It is 200 words per minute, and speed readers 600 words per minute. They are gifted people. But exam point of view, what is the required speed? Because you have to read, understand, and answer the questions, 150 words per minute. This should be the ideal. This is ideal speed. And I don't know how many of you know your speed. For that, for 1 week, you have to take every day one passage, roughly 1000 words, use a stopwatch and check the time. Then take the average, you will come to know your speed. Imagine your speed is 100 words per minute. You are not ready for the exam. You have to change the pace and you have to use certain techniques to improve your speed. Very important. Now let us go to the second one. What is a reading comprehension skill is over. Reading comprehension skill is over. Now it is vocabulary. The second one, and these two are inseparable. What is the syllabus that goes with vocabulary? Effective words, not simple and easy words. And where do you find the effective words? The Hindu editorials again, synonyms, antonyms, one word substitutes, in some form or other, homophones, misspelled words. Very important. Now, coming to how is vocabulary tested? They give questions, fillers related, word swap. Swap means change, misspelled words, inappropriate words. These are the areas they touch. Now, how to master English vocabulary? This is an ocean. There are 8 lakh words, and surprisingly, a typical English man or woman knows only 2000 words and 20,000 words, and an intellectual knows about 40,000 words. How many they know, not important. How many you have to know? In my opinion, 5,000 words to 10,000 effective words. Very important. And how to master? Try to learn words from editorials. Try to learn editorial words. What is the reason? When you read the editorial, you improve your reading comprehension skill. You learn words from the context, then you can remember. Then try to learn the spellings of commonly misspelled words. That will help in the exam. And to answer the questions related to vocabulary, you should always learn the prefixes, roots, and suffixes. According to one study, if you learn about 50 prefixes, roots, and suffixes, you can unlock the meanings of 1 lakh words. Not, it is really amazing. Now, the last one is again very important. Try to develop contextual awareness. This helps in the long run. So many questions, to answer so many questions, you should have and use contextual awareness. If you ask me, sir, how do we get that? You have to read a lot, as simple as that. That's all about this session, reading comprehension skill and vocabulary. Very important from the selection point of view. As I said the other day, grammar is a foundation. It helps in so many ways. But today we talk about selection. All these sessions are related to how to get selected, how to crack SBI Clerk 2021. Selection point of view, what is important? You should focus more on that to have the competitive edge. If you ask me, sir, what is important from selection point of view, my answer will be obviously reading comprehension skill and vocabulary. And this is like the brief insight into these two areas. And this is a second video. The first video I have done related to syllabus, what is tested, how it is tested related to English grammar. In this video, I talked about reading comprehension skill and vocabulary, what is a syllabus, what is tested, how it is tested. The next video, very useful. Now you know what the syllabus is and what is tested, how it is tested. Now comes the question, how to get 20 plus in prelims SBI Clerk 2021. And I'm going to do that the next video, how to get 20 plus. There I'm going to touch all these aspects. I'm going to bring examples and show how these areas, how they ask the questions, how to answer those questions. I will try to provide the insight. That's all for today. Thank you very much. All the best.